Hello folks, my name's David Edgar, I'm the host of Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast, and I'm joining you after Rangers 1-0 victory over Kilmarnock at Ibrox today. A strange game to try and analyse. Rangers started with what on paper looked like a 4-4-2, but right after kick-off became very clear that Jason Cummings was playing slightly in behind Alfredo Morelos. I don't know if that's a role that Jason Cummings is particularly comfortable in. I thought that he struggled to get involved in the game, and I'm a fan of his, but I didn't think it worked at all. Kilmarnock set up with a 4-3-3, but again it was slightly different to what we're used to from them at times. It looked like a 4-4-2 as well, or a 4-4-1-1 at times, so there was a lot of kind of tactical stuff going on in the first half, and not, it must be said, an awful lot of action. Kilmarnock should have scored. Chris Boyd with a free kick that Jack Anick saved, although he palmed it out. All the Rangers players were on their heels. 3 Kilmarnock players got to it first. They really should have scored, but Anick made a fantastic second stop to keep that out. Then later on in the half, Jamie Murphy's got his head onto a really good Andy Halliday cross. It's looped up and onto the top of the bar. And that was about it. There really wasn't an awful lot going forward from Rangers. They looked reasonably assured at the back, but you couldn't exactly say that they had dominated. I thought we had played... there was effort, but there really wasn't any quality. Into the second half, a change at half time. Jason Cummings gone off. I thought it was for tactical reasons. There's some rumours that he was ill. Could be a mixture of both, of course. But on came Ross McCrory, and look, it's clear Ross McCrory is a midfielder. He is not a central defender. And although in the opening 10 minutes he gave the ball away a couple of times, the rest of it was fantastic, and I thought, look, that's his quality is now showing through his fitness issue, because his fitness is coming back after starting to get a few games under his belt. Sharpness is coming back, and you could see it, and I thought he had a terrific second half overall. And from that, Rangers, for the first time this season, matched up Kilmarnock in midfield. And this is one of the annoying things for a supporter, because we say all the time that, look, we accept that coaches know more about it than we do, that football people know more about it than we do. We're just fans, we accept that. But all season Rangers fans have said you have to go 3 in the midfield against Kilmarnock. That's where their strength is. Rangers eventually do that in the last half of the last game. And remember, we haven't beaten Kilmarnock up to today. We'd only taken 1 point from 3 matches. And suddenly we start to dominate the match. And in the second half, territorially, it was all Rangers. Again, I'm not going to lie and say that McDonald had tons and tons of saves to make, because he didn't. But I don't think Anick touches the ball second half until a couple of late flurries from Kilmarnock after the goal's gone in. But Rangers are totally dominant in terms of territory, but Kilmarnock are very well organised, which is, I suppose, the least you would expect from a Steve Clarke side. And it was a question of, look, if one side could get a goal, it was going to be enough. Everybody in the stadium knew it. We were surprised that Kilmarnock took Boyd off, just talismanic purposes. And the fact that he's done so well against us this season, I thought it was indicative of them settling for a point, which kind of almost relaxed the stadium a little bit, and we decided to kind of push forward. The long lost Sean Goss returns to the team. We had a strange bench, no attackers at all on it. But Sean Goss comes on for Jason Holt, and then Rangers get a free kick. It's a bit too deep for a shot at goal. They play a short one. He lifts in a beautiful cross, and there's my boy, Hamburg-bound David Bates, to head it in and get us the victory. So, yeah, I think overall we deserved it. It wasn't a great performance. I watched the games back before I do the main pod on a Monday, and that's not going to be the most fun. It's not going to be as bad as the last one, right enough, but it's not going to be the most fun one of the season. But overall, it was just about getting 3 points today with the battle for second place, the euphoria from Steven Gerrard. It was very important ahead of going to Pittodrie and then going to Easter Road that we at least picked up 3 points there. And it gives us the opportunity then. We know what we need to do. We won our last 2 games. We seal second, and there's no reason to believe we can't do it. We've won at both grounds already this season, but it will depend on how we perform. We have to be better in the last third. I thought defensively we were better than we'd been for a while, and I thought Andy Halliday was reasonably solid. He gets a lot of criticism when he plays left back, and I thought today he did okay. A couple of mistakes, but it's not his position, and I thought that he matched up pretty well to a good challenge from them. Jordan Jones in the first half of Kilmarnock really did look like a good player. Mark Allen said to be a big fan of his, and it wouldn't surprise me if Rangers went back in for him in the summer, because although Steven Gerrard's going to have his own ideas about player, I think he's made it clear that he'll listen to Mark Allen a fair bit, so that one wouldn't surprise me if Rangers went back in. I like him. I think he's a good player, really direct and fast. And as someone says, though, he does seem to have the haircut of a 1940s wing commander. But that's the youth of today, and I can hardly slag anybody off about their hair. Would that I had the choice to make my hairstyle look like that. And yeah, I think that the things to come out of it, as I say, Ross McCrory, definitely not a centre back, or he can be, but it's not his position. He is a real top quality midfielder potentially, especially with the guys who are coming in to coach him, and that's where I think we should focus on him. Again, I thought up front, very little there. Jason Cummings, not in a good position for him and possibly carrying an illness. Alfredo Morelos is completely spent. Now, you can say it's because he's had too many games. You can say it because he's got an eye on a move. You can say he's fed up. It doesn't matter. The result of it, whatever the reason, is now obvious. He's just not contributing much at all, and maybe was a wee bit lucky not to get a red card. I mean, it wouldn't have changed anything. It was on 90 minutes, but even so, that temper again. Sean Goss, again, it shows that it was a little bit baffling to dump him. Yes, he was very poor in physical matches earlier in the season, but it doesn't mean you can't use him, and he was completely banished under Graham Murty. It was good to see him back and doing what he can do, and that's it. Sometimes you need to focus on what players can do rather than what they can't all the time. And of course, my boy Bates. I was gutted to see him leave. I think we should have made more of an effort to keep him. I know that Graham Murty said that we couldn't match Hamburg's offer, but maybe we couldn't at the end up, but we had several opportunities before he was negotiating with other clubs to give him an offer that he would have taken, and we failed to. And I think it's a blow. I think it'll be a miss. Now, obviously, if we go out and money comes in and we absolutely bladder the transfer market, it's not going to matter, but I thought he was a kind of relatively cheap backup. He showed again today he's a decent defender. He strolled it, I thought, at the back, and the goal was a bonus. So a nice send-off for him in his last match at Ibrox, and we wish him well at Hamburg. It looks as though they are going down, so it looks as though he'll be playing in the Bundesliga B next season. But yeah, a good win. And look, we take the 3 points, we take the momentum from yesterday, we move on. We've got a really tough game against Aberdeen on Tuesday night. And if we turn up and we play with confidence, then we have a real chance, because we know what we can do. We have to improve Nassad. We have to improve the final ball. Our final ball is terrible, and it's not giving us the opportunities that we should be making for the territory that we have. But finally getting a win against Kilmarnock, which is good for those of us who live in Ayrshire, and gives us a wee bit of bragging rights. So I'm pleased, overall I'm pleased, and pleased for Jimmy Nicholl. But God, I miss Stevie G. He's only been away a day. I miss him so much. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to hear more from us, then just go to the Heart and Hand Patreon site. That's patreon.com/Heart and Hand. $1.99 a month, and that will get you up to 4 hours of content per day on all different things Rangers. But if you'd rather just stick to the free shows twice a week, that's fantastic. Mondays and Thursdays for them. Podcast, Android, all the places you get your podcasts. And if you want to wear us, if you want us close to your heart, and you want a t-shirt or a hoodie with the Heart and Hand logo, which you'll see at the end of this video, then go to heartandhand.co.uk. Right, that's enough shilling. Thank you very much for listening to me. I'll be back on Tuesday night after we beat the Sheep. Thank you. Bye.